The New York Knicks just hired a basketball genius. Let's talk about it. My name is Paul. This is Big Apple Sports. Tune in every day for the latest Knicks news, insights, analysis. If you're a fan of the New York Knicks, don't miss out. Take just a quick second, hit the subscribe button. Doesn't cost you anything, does me a huge solid, and you won't regret it because I got a lot more Knicks content coming. The season is just around the corner, and I am going to be keeping you up to date on all things New York Knicks. So let's talk about this home run hire they just had, and that would be St. Joseph coach Billy Lange is going to be running the player development. Now, let me tell you real quick, before I get into who Billy Lange is, I'm going to tell you about his coaching career, where he came from, why he's the perfect man for the job. But before we get into that, let's take a quick look at the Knicks draft picks in recent years. Hold on, let me pull that over for you. Just read through this list and tell me how many of these people are key contributors on this Knicks team. I mean, you got Obi Toppin. He's a pretty good bench player for the Pacers. You got R.J. Barrett has been a solid player, but not what he was supposed to be. I think most Knicks fans would consider him to be a disappointment, especially considering he was the number 3 pick in the draft. He's obviously not on the Knicks anymore. Kevin Knox, huge bust. The one guy who I really think has been a great draft pick is Mitchell Robinson, especially considering he was a second rounder. He obviously is still a major contributor on the team. But this is 2018. Like, you have to, I mean, and to be fair, a lot of these guys were traded. But, like, it has been a long time since the New York Knicks have drafted a player, kept him, and developed him. Like, that just has not been existent. This team has been existing on their ability to bring in free agents, to trade for marquee players. And it's not good enough anymore. Like, they got not run off the court, but they got beat by the Pacers. And I think you look at those rosters and it feels like the Knicks should have won that series. But a large part of why they didn't is because of the bench depth. The Knicks have had such a weak bench, and it's because they've put in all their money into their starters, and they have a great starting 5, but they can't develop any role players to take on solid 6-man roles, shooting 3-and-D roles off the bench, and that has been just an abomination for the Knicks, and something that a lot of these teams, like the Cavs, like the Pistons, like the Pacers, like OKC, like the Nuggets, like the Warriors, like these guys are developing their own talent and having much deeper teams in the postseason, and the Knicks need to catch up. And I think this guy is the guy to do it. So, taking a look at his history, so the big thing I want to highlight starting off is he spent 3 years as an assistant to Jay Wright at Villanova. Now, Knicks fans, I assume you all know who Jay Wright is, has won multiple national championships. I think a lot of Knicks fans really wanted to see him come to New York. There are rumors that maybe he was going to become the Knicks head coach. Obviously, that didn't happen. But he is one of the great basketball minds of all time. And it's awesome to bring in a guy who spent 3 years learning from him, and then an additional 2 years as the assistant head coach to him after his stint at Navy. I won't talk a ton about his stint at Navy, but he took a that's a hard word to say, a perennially poor Navy team, and one of his last years there, he led them to a 19-11 mark, really improved them. Then, after his time at Villanova, the 76ers actually brought him in to be a player development coach. And he, from there, was offered some G League jobs. And then he was continued to kind of move up through the 76ers organization. He was a lead assistant with roles that included player development and coordinating the team's offense. Was a part of bringing in guys like Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons. I probably shouldn't mention that. That's a knock on him. But after that, he decided to take the head coaching job at St. Joseph's. St. Joe's, let me pull that up. The couple years before he had gotten there, they went 11-20, 16-16, 14-19. Then their head coach was fired. You obviously know when a coach gets fired, everybody leaves, and the program was stripped down to the studs. And after a couple of terrible seasons, you can see he worked the team back up until most recently this year, they went 22-13. They went 11-7 in the conference. And everywhere he has gone, his team, he's taken over some really bad teams like Navy and like St. Joseph's. But every single level of basketball he's been at, including his time in Division III at the University of Philadelphia, the team has instantly improved. Well, not instantly. It takes time to develop and build a program, but the team has always gotten better with him there. And that, I love that they're bringing that to the Knicks. You know he's been under some great minds, like the 76ers. I know we don't like them as Knicks fans. I know, Ben Simmons wasn't great, but they have perennially been a playoff team. They've been developing players at a much higher level than the Knicks have. And he's a proven good developer of players. Because he was never at Kentucky. He was never at Louisville. He was never at a place that was going to lead the all of college basketball in NIL money and get the top recruits. He was the kind of coach who was, at some of these schools, like Navy, he probably was bringing in 0 1-star recruits. But even at St. Joe's, he's the kind of guy who's bringing in 2-star, 3-star, maybe the occasional 4-star recruit, and turning them into quality players who can compete at the highest level of college basketball. So he's had a lot of success in that in the past. I hope he can bring that success to New York and develop some of these guys off the bench. I really like Tyler Kolek. I put out a video about him maybe about a month ago, and how I think with his summer league and the way he's improving as a player, he could rise into a contributor. So I think bringing in Billy Lange is going to be great for guys like him and all the guys in the future that the Knicks draft. So hopefully we start to see the Knicks get better at developing talent and filling out the back half of this roster with quality players, even though they're drafted late first, late second. I think if you have the right player developer on the team, he can help build them into at least quality role players to make this they're already an extremely talented team, but he can help make them an extremely deep team too. So Knicks fans, give me your thoughts, and then just don't forget, like and subscribe on your way out, and I'll hit you with some more Knicks content later.